guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my first ever Sims 4 speed build video. Forgive me my awkwardness for this first voiceover. I've never done a voiceover before, and it's extremely weird talking just to my screen right now. But I've actually been working on this channel for about 2 months now, in preparation. I used to upload my builds just to the gallery, and obviously I will continue to do so. My name on the gallery used to be Queen for Castle. Sorry about that. Queen for Castle. I've been playing The Sims since I was 12. Playing as in building. I have never been really good at playing the game. I get frustrated and it doesn't turn out the way that I wanted, and it's just not. Sometimes I pick it up to just play a game and have a family and do funny things, and I get bored. But anyways, yes, I love building. I love design. I love everything about decorating homes, building the homes. And my husband has been really encouraging me to create videos about this and post it. And personally, I enjoy watching speed build videos. For The Sims 4, as well as I enjoy watching Planet Zoo. But yes, so I've been preparing all of this for a few weeks now. I have a bunch of videos pre-recorded. I actually started recording right around the time that the Fairies expansion pack came out. What's it called? Nature, something with nature. I forget. I don't remember what it's called. So yes, I have a bunch of fairy homes actually that are already pre-recorded, and I just have to do the voiceovers and the editing. And right now it's taking me forever to edit everything because I'm a newbie, and I'm not very tech savvy, so it's taking me a little bit of time. But let me give you some facts about the house that I'm building today. We're in the world of Brindleton Bay, and we're on the Pawspital lot. It's a 40 by 30. The house is right around 180,000 simoleons. I'm not exactly sure on the number. I wrote it down at some point, and I came back in and I adjusted some stuff. So it's right around 182,000. So it's up there, but it's a big house. I built it for a family of 5. And obviously, if you download this, feel free to adjust things, do whatever you want to do with it. Don't re-upload it, obviously, or credit the builders. If you ever download anything from the gallery and you re-upload it, credit the people that originally created it, because it's hard work, and credit where credit is due, I think. Anyways, so this house has 4 beds, 2 bathrooms. There's one full bathroom actually on the main floor, which doesn't have any bedrooms. However, there is quite a bit of room that you can rearrange things and you can change things up if you want to. But yes, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. There is a bonus room above the garage, which in this case is like a little space for the dad. I'm gonna get into that storyline. I'm not very, like I said, I don't play much, and I'm really horrible at coming up with storylines. I know some creators are amazing with coming up with storylines, but I'm not. So I actually had ChatGPT suggest a storyline for this first house, and then I went on Pinterest to get some inspiration. So this build is very inspired by a picture that I found on Pinterest. It's like it was a coastal. I find it very coastal, cottagey, like a big coastal cottage. And then I added that garage on the side just because I needed the extra space. But yeah, let me tell you a little bit about the family that's going to be living there. So there's going to be a dad. He is an author and he loves to paint. So maybe he's an author and he writes children's books and he also illustrates them, or maybe he illustrates other people's books, or whatever. But I think he's a freelancer, so that's what that room above the garage was for him to have like a studio where he can paint and where he can write his books and where he can read and just get out of the craziness of the house with three children, and go up there and be creative. The mom, I think, she is a chef. She is a chef, and ChatGPT had suggested that she works in a farm to table kind of restaurant in town, and that because of that, she loves gardening, or she works there, I guess, because she loves gardening, and she's gonna have her own little greenhouse and little garden. Um, she's really into that. And I think this is the perfect world for that because I don't know, it's just if I think about what this world was inspired by, New Haven, the Hamptons, the coastal feel. Granted, I've never been there. I'm actually from Europe. I live in the States, but I'm actually from Europe, and I've been to many, many different places and many northern islands in Europe, in the Scandinavia area. And so I've been on islands where the building style is very similar to the building style in like the Hamptons and stuff. It's this coastal vibe, and I think that carried over the ocean for sure. And yeah, I love that style. I love it now that it's getting a little bit cooler. Where I live, it is not getting much cooler. It's cooling off at night, but during the day, we still have very, very high temperatures. So I am pretending that it is getting cooler because I'm actually really excited for it. Fall is my favorite time of year. Summer is too. I'm a big outdoorsy person, so summer, fall is like my favorite. But honestly, every season is beautiful in its own right, I think. Moving on to the daughter. So the daughter, there's two daughters and one son, and the oldest daughter, she is a teen. She loves collecting vinyls. I try to get into that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into decorating the rooms for all of the Sims. But yeah, she's very into vinyls, and she likes music. She likes listening to music, and she likes to make her own music. I put a guitar. You're actually not going to see that in the speed build because I forgot it. I forgot to put the guitar in her room, and then I watched the video back as I was editing it, and I was like, oh, great, you forgot the guitar. Like she loves making music. She has nowhere to make music. But anyway, so there is a guitar in there now. There is a few things that I had to add after I was done building everything. But I think, listen, this is my first time that I'm posting it. So while I was recording the speed build or the build video, I was so nervous because I felt like I was being watched the whole time. I don't appreciate that feeling of being watched, but I am very excited to share this process with you. I hope that there's a few people out there that enjoy watching and that are interested in seeing this. And I know there's many, many phenomenal builders, creators out there. You'll see as we move inside, especially, that I have learned a lot about building in The Sims from other creators and from watching them and from listening to them and them just teaching, honestly, and just sharing their tips and tricks. And I love that. And I get very, very inspired by them. Anyways, you'll see. And I'm sure that if you watch speed build videos a lot, then you will see definitely who I was inspired by and who I watch a lot. Anyways, Sandbox. Yes, like Sandbox. That's one of the things that I got inspired by. Jessica Pye. I think she was the first one where I had ever seen it. I'm sure other people do it too. But I think Jessica Pye, she is the one that I watch the most. Always excited for Fridays when she posts. But yeah, the Sandbox is fully functional, by the way. I have tested the whole house. I've played in the house with a whole family for, I think I played through a week of gameplay. So I believe I have tried everything. At least the major things are very much functional. If you do run into any problems, please leave your suggestions, your comments down below. Let me know if, you feel like the speed is too high. You want me to slow it down. If you want it faster, I don't think I want it faster. I'm watching it back right now as I'm doing the voiceover. I don't think I want it faster because I feel like I'm gonna get sick if it's faster. But if you do feel like it's too fast, let me know. If you feel like I need to change and adjust anything about the audio, let me know. If you have any tips and tricks, let me know. Please, I'm a newbie, so I'm grateful that you're even taking the time to watch this. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I hope that we can all have a great time here, and that's the main reason that I'm doing this is just, The Sims. I'm a mom, and The Sims has always, my whole life, been my little escape, and it's my, I call it my brain break. So whenever I did have time, when my kids were really young, this is what I would do. This was my little retreat. And so, yeah, I hope that you watching it, I hope you grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever your drink of choice is, or a glass of wine if you're watching this in the evening. Hey, you know what? Sims and wine, that's the thing. I hope that you can escape the noise of the world for a while, and that you can just sit here and enjoy this, and that I'm not too annoying. And I hope that we can kind of turn into friends. As I'm looking at the video right now, there's going to be a cut here in a second because floor plan. If I've been looking at a picture on Pinterest, which I'm still debating whether or not it's safe for me to pop up a picture of any house that I was inspired by. But once I had the general box built, then coming in and doing the floor plan always is so hard for me because I always, I'm a perfectionist, and in my mind, the staircase should be by the front door. So I'm trying to work around that. And then I'm like, but if I do that, then it doesn't work with what I want. And the laundry room should be in the back because it should be by the back door so that you're not dragging any dirt through the whole house when you're coming in. And so this is very much every single time I build something that is not exactly within my comfort zone. And this one was not in my comfort zone. Whenever I'm building anything where I'm pushing myself a little bit, floor plan is really one of the hardest things. And wallpaper, because I am very much my own personal home is very much creamy colors, earthy colors, a lot of wood, a lot of natural elements. It is not very colorful. But I don't want to make every house like that, and this one was just, the first one. I don't know why I made the first one like pushing my comfort zone. I could have just as well done what I'm comfortable with, but I don't know. I thought this might appeal to more people, but I think the next one that we're going to be doing is going to be more my comfort zone, or a fairy build. Honestly, if you're watching this and you have a preference, I haven't created anything, so if you and I have options. I have multiple things. I have some mid-century modern stuff that I've pre-recorded. I have some fairy builds. I have all kinds of stuff. So if you have any preferences on what you would like to watch next, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. Moving on into the living room now. I was thinking I wanted to put a bookshelf there, but it was just too big. It didn't really fit. I didn't really like it. So I opted for these are the upper cabinets, like kitchen cabinets. And you can pull them all the way down. However, it might be annoying to some people because if you're in gameplay mode and you put your walls down, which honestly, if I do play, I never play with the walls down because it irritates me when I can see things in the next room that I should not be able to see if I'm in the living room. I'm weird that way. Go with it. But yeah, if you put the walls down to either all the way down or like half up, half down, the cabinets themselves will disappear because they're attached to the wall, but the stuff that is on them will still be visible. So that's going to be floating if you play with half up, half down. But if you don't love that, you can always replace that with like side tables or something like that. And then you won't have that problem. But you just have to click them. The hit box. I don't remember what they're called. The slots where you can click stuff into. They're not attached to any of those. So if you want it and you want to put it beside table, there or a shelf and they're not actually clicked into it, it will always hover, I think. I believe that that's how it works. Anyways, rambling. Yes, so carpet. Anyways, so the whole color scheme the colors in this house are, I try to stay with this like blues and creamies and stuff because of it being by the coast. And then I put that picture up, that painting of the dog in the ocean over the fireplace, and I was like, oh yeah, we definitely need some more blues in here, but we can still do the creamies that I like because it's in the picture. But yeah, so the tape, I am not personally a massive fan of TVs above the fireplace because I feel like that needs to be, I need to decorate that. I don't want a massive black box there. Which, yes, we do have the frame TVs that we got. I think one was in a kit. Were they both in a kit? I think they were both in a kit. And then we got that one from that event. However, I was moving during the time that came out, so I missed out, and now I can't get it, and that's extremely annoying. Why do they do that? That there's content that if you do not play at a certain time, then you're just going to miss out on the content. Like, I get it. It gets people engaged potentially. However, I would still like to have that TV because it's actually really nice. And there was a floor mat that I really like. Why? I mean, I have this whole like opinion about EA and The Sims and how it's working and glitches and all that stuff. And I'm not trying to be negative, but it would have been nice if they would have just all of that content, you already created kits. Create another kit that is like $2 or whatever, and then, or give it to people a few months later for free. I mean, you're hammering this content out for free anyway, so might as well give it to us. But yes, I'm annoyed that I don't have that other frame TV. Because the cat one, the one that came with Bella Goth's kit, it's just not really my thing. I mean, it is. I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's just, it wasn't really right for this house. And then the other one was just too modern. And from what I've seen on other creators' builds, that one that I missed out on, that would have been really great. But anyways, yes. So we're in the kitchen now, cluttering up the kitchen. In real life, my kitchen is not cluttered up. I have like 5 things in total on the countertop, and clutter freaks me out. But in The Sims, it does look a lot better and a whole lot more lived in and real if you clutter stuff up, as pulling this towel away from the wall and putting it under the sink. I love that. I have learned that trick from Jessica Pie. If you don't know her, which I'm sure you do, but if you don't know her, go check out her YouTube channel. She is amazing. She is one of the best builders that I know, and I love watching her videos. She's so funny. And she has a lot of great tips. But moving on, still cluttering up. I pulled this milk carton out, and at that point, I had not decided what I was going to do with that little sunroom off to the right where I just put that milk carton in. And I hadn't decided what that was going to be. So I just threw that milk carton in there because I thought, oh, that'd be so cute if we had like a little breakfast nook out there. There is going to be a formal dining room. Just if you look through that archway, if you look through there, that's going to be the dining room. So there will be a formal dining room in this house. But I thought in the sunroom to have like a little breakfast nook where the family can sit and have breakfast. That would be really fun. So I threw that milk carton in there. Not that this is important, but just letting you know, this is what I was thinking. I put this little cake stand up there off to the left. And then I had to pause the build a little while later, and I came back and it was gone. It had just disappeared off of that cake stand. I don't know when it got deleted. I don't know which wall I painted that made that go away, but it did. And and I could not find it in the catalog anymore. So that cake stand, you might see me change it later. I don't remember. I guess we'll see. But that cake stand is no longer there. It's now that cookbook that came with the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, the one where you can, the one that is actually usable. I honestly don't exactly know how it's usable. Do you click on it? Maybe. I'm not sure. But I put in the corner over behind us right now, I put a little bit of like a dough. I think she was making cookies or something. Since the mother is a chef, obviously, I think she would love to cook at home and bake with her kids. And, you know, she has 3 kids. So maybe the teen is a young teen and she still likes to cook with mom or bake with mom. And I picked that new sink out. I don't even know if it's new anymore, but I picked that one because it already has clutter in it. And I feel like that's the kind of family, you know, the parents are both working. They're very busy. They have a teenage daughter who likes to create music. Maybe she plays in a band, hoping for a band expansion at some point, or maybe a stuff pack or something. At some point, wink. And the son is young. He's not very athletic, I don't think. But, you know, he loves robotics and he loves space. And I think he's going to be a great engineer someday. And then there's a little girl, the toddler. I don't think I've mentioned her before. Yes, there's a little girl. She's a toddler. She's adorable. She loves pink and she loves stuffies. And I really tried to make that visible in her room. But anyways, yeah, so the parents are both working. So it's busy. They live a busy lifestyle, and picking up clutter is just not really on their agenda. If you have something in your hand, you just put it there. And I tried to get that to come across in the build. And that goes against everything that I would do in real life. Here with this, the screenshots, the laundry room is missing in the screenshots. I am so sorry. I completely forgot to take pictures of the laundry room. This is my first time. Hey, look, I'm learning. I'm doing. I'd be happy for your feedback. I'm sorry I forgot this. Moving on. This is the laundry room. It's fully functional. I was trying to create this. Again, this is something that Jessica Pye does sometimes, and I tried to recreate this, but I just didn't like the way that it looked there. I probably could have found a different table, but I kind of was over it at that point, and I figured I'd rather have those vacuum cleaners in a corner there and make them functional. I think I put the vacuum cleaners on the other side at some point, but anyways, yeah, I didn't do that. And I tried to clutter it up and make it look like a laundry room, little electrical box. I don't know, would that be in a laundry room? I think it's in our laundry room. And I think I changed the color of the this wreath on the wall. There's some items and they have such weird shading, and then you put them up and they're just black, and you can't see anything. And I felt like when I first put it up on the wall, it wasn't that dark, and then all of a sudden the shadow changed and there was nothing I could do about it, and I got frustrated. I really liked that there. But anyways, finding other clutter. Also a thing that I think you're probably going to realize me doing, and I hope it's not too annoying. I am not really... A lot of times when I build, I come in and I just kind of pick a room, either because I had previously seen a picture of something and I already had an inspiration for a certain room in the house. But there's no like rhyme or reason. It's not going to be like I built the house and then I always start with the entryway, or I always start with the hall, with the kitchen. It's never going to be like that. I'm very all over the place, and I'm like, oh, look, this goes really great over here. Let's put that there. And so if that's too jumpy, and if I have to work on that, and it's driving you nuts, then just, one of the things, feel free to point it out. As long as the criticism is meant to be helpful, I am happy to take it, and I'm happy to make this better. Look, I want people to watch. I want people to have a good time here. So I hope that you guys pointed out, be kind, be nice. But if there is things that you think I can do better, please point it out to me. I'm happy for the feedback. I think I need to drink something. We're back in the dining room. And so, yes, so I did this thing with the mirrors, and as long as there's no Z fighting, I think is what it's called. I'm not a tech guy. But as long as there's no Z fighting, I like hanging stuff up like that. Did you just see what I did with those bottles? So this is something that Jessica Pye has just recently started doing, and I love it. Usually, if you want to put something on the surface, it always snaps to those slots. And that's not where I want my decoration. I want to put the decoration where I want it. So I usually put something on those surfaces and then clutter it up with that little cube shelf that I'm using over there. But yes, but then I usually pull them off. So I delete the bottles or whatever I have used as a space holder to block those boxes. What are they called? I can't remember. But then Jessica has started doing this thing where she just puts the bottles on there and then she sizes them down with the tool mod. That way there's still something in that slot, and Sims won't walk around and put their dirty plate somewhere and then you can't see the dirty plate because it's inside of a vase or a lamp or something like that. And then they're complaining about filthy surroundings and you're going insane because you can't figure out where it is. You know, if you clutter things up, then they tend to do that. So if you don't want that to happen, you can always put those bottles there. Again, credit 100% Jessica Pye. She did that, and I thought it was just such a phenomenal idea. Moving on to the hallway bathroom. I was originally gonna make this just like a powder room, and then I thought, well, hold on, there's 5 people living, or 5 Sims living in this house, and we probably need another bathroom, and the space was there, so I thought might as well put that in there. Moving on to the hallway, I am so excited about that new kit. I have no idea what the name of the kit was, but it is the most recent build kit that came out, with all that hallway furniture. I'm a bit bummed. Now, granted, I do have a reshade on my game, which I want to link. However, I have messed something up and I changed my reshade. I have a few and I changed it, and now I don't know which one this is that I used here. But again, learning. I will do better next time. If you do have, I like muted tones, muted colors. I don't like how bright most of the colors are in The Sims. I don't really like that. You know, I have one, and I don't remember the creator that it was by, but it's called Tofu. And I really like that one because it kind of mutes the colors and it gives you those more intense shadows. So I really like those, but I'm still looking for that one reshade that I really, really love and that I can just keep. I'm messing around with reshades still. But anyways, yes. So the hallway, I wanted to make it look a little bit like, oh, they've been in this house for a long time. I mean, they have a teenage daughter. They probably bought this house when she was maybe a young child. And she was maybe a young child. And since then, they have added furniture to it. They have got new furniture. And I think that hallway stuff was just new furniture that they had recently gotten, but then mixed it with a bench that they might have had over there before. We're in the toddler girls' bedroom now, and I was attempting to make like a striped wall, but that didn't work because it's just massive, and I didn't like it. And then I went for this this came with the fairies, Enchanted by Nature. I remember now, Enchanted by Nature expansion pack, and the wood tone matched the side table there, and I think it went really well with the hallway thing, bench table situation over there. And I have baskets in my kids' room because baskets are awesome. Because kids can organize better in baskets. So I thought this doesn't just go well in a hallway, it goes just as well in a toddler or a kid's room. So I used those, and since this is, you know, she's maybe 3, maybe she's 4, 3, 4, or 2, between 2 and 4, I'm guessing is her age. And so this is newer furniture. Again, maybe they bought that at the same time, but it's mixed with an older side table that they had, and maybe they refurbished it. I didn't want everything to just look brand new, but I did want to give this room the feel of, you know, this is not old furniture. They have been buying furniture. I did this trick again with the bottles, just sizing them down. That way there is no more slots open and they can't put anything there. And I don't think that in a bedroom there needs to be an open slot. Like, what are they going to put there other than a dirty plate that they keep carrying around through the house? But yeah, I did a lot of Enchanted by Nature, and I did, like I mentioned before, stuffies, animals. She loves that stuff. So she has a little fox lamp and a basket on the floor with her toys, but there's also stuffies in there, and stuffies in the shelf, and stuffies on the table. And some wet wipes are always important, even if you do not have a changing table. Funny enough, for my kids, I never had a changing table. I always changed them. Like I had like a dresser for my second kid, and it had a changing pad on it, and that's kind of what I used, but I never had an official changing table, so I don't tend to put them in there, other than if I build for infants. Then obvious, well, do you need that? No, you don't, because in the base game there is no changing tables, right? They gave us the infants for the base game, but they didn't even give us a single changing table. Anyway, yeah, so there's no changing table in there. She is older, like I said, she's maybe 2 or 3, so she's probably getting potty trained right now. There is a potty in the upstairs bathroom. It's just down the hall. You can see the door over in the back corner right now. But wet wipes, diapers are still handy to have, and wet wipes are still in our household because they're great, and you need wet wipes in your life. And so I did something here. There is a purse, and I found the purse, and I thought, oh, that'd be so cute. I think the little girl steals her mom's purse and likes to take the stuff out of there. I think I might have put the same purse in the parents' bedroom as a nod to that, like, oh, the daughter stole the mom's purse because it was so cute and she just loved it so much. And at some point the mom was like, you know what, I just get myself a new purse and she can keep that one because she fell in love with it. But yeah, so that's all. And then we're moving on to the son's bedroom. He is into robotics, and he is into what's the other thing? Robotics and video games. He loves the Void Critters. So yeah, Void Critter poster. I do not know what the Void Critters are. I know that they're the things that look like that, but as I said before, I don't play, so I don't know. So when I came in, I had moved that Void Critter station thing over in a corner, and I was like, I don't know if we can even use this. So then I came in to play test it, and I clicked on it with a little boy, and I was like, why can't I use this? And then at some point I was like, oh, do I need another kid? Got it. Okay, so we went over to the Goth family's house, and we made friends with the son, what's his name, and invited him over. This is fully functional, even though it is so close to the in the corner. It's like pushed in there, but it's fully functional. Like, everything works great in this room. I also put like a school project in there, but hence, well, the robotics, hence the school project, so he can build like a robot or whatever. Maybe it's a space, maybe it's a rocket. Either it's a can you make a robot? I don't know. It might be a rocket, but there's a school project in there as well, and also that is also fully functional. So I did play test this. But yeah, so then I came over here with the Goth's son and him, and I tried to play and check if this works, and then it was like, oh, you have to buy this pack on the computer. I was like, what? Well, now I know. So the next time I'm not going to be that confused and lost. But anyways, yeah, son's room's fully functional, made it kind of dark. And now we're moving on to the daughter's room. So she's a teenager. So in her room, again, I kind of try to, there's some furniture that's been around in the house for a while, like that side table. I imagine this was just the side table that either was always in her room or it came from somewhere else, or I don't know. But also she has updated some stuff for her room and has gotten like a new bed, bed sheets and stuff. I started off with the bed. I think, yeah, that was the first thing that I pulled out, and I love that the sheets on that bed. I love the colors. And then I found that wall hanger that is currently, we're swooping over there because I found a pillow. I thought that would fit on the wall. That little, is it macrame? I don't know. Is it considered macrame? But it has kind of the same colors. It has that purple and pink and the orange. And in the bed, the pillow is orange. Yeah, and then ChatGPT had suggested that she loves collecting vinyls. So I put vinyls up there, also some CDs. But yeah, everything vinyl that I could find, I kind of put out there and hung up to really show off that that's something that she loves. And then other than that, I just kind of tried to find pictures or decor that made sense. So yeah, a stack of CDs. I think I do remove that shelf later on. Yeah, so just, I don't know. It's been a long time since I was a teenager, so I'm not exactly sure. My kids are not quite there yet. So I'm thinking she's a young teenager. I'm not thinking she's 16. I think she's more like 14. I think that there is a big difference. But anyways, so yeah, she has a desk. She also likes to journal. So I put a journal on her bed, on her desk, I think. Pretty sure I did. I guess we'll see. And I don't, now that I talk about it, I'm not sure that the journal works. I have not tried that out. But I think you can just grab that, right? I think you just pull that into your inventory and then write that anywhere, I guess. I think. And there's a record player because, she loves collecting records. So I thought she needed to have a record player. And then I feel like that little candle, that cookie candle is I like it. I think it's adorable. But I think this is like a teenage girl kind of thing. But yeah, so I tried to, keep everything in that purple, creamy, pink-ish situation. And yeah, picking out a rug, and I think then we're done. Oh, and the bed is also fully functional. I'm about to put that book there. It works. It's not a big deal. And then I came in here into the parents' bedroom, and I picked that bed, and I'm not a massive fan, but again, I didn't want everything to look so stylized, and I didn't want it to look designed. I wanted to look like a live-in house where over time, we changed the throw pillows, or we got new sheets, or we added different side tables, like we needed new side tables. That's the feel that I was trying to go for, and I hope I got that across. I loved this setup, and then I pulled those curtains out and I was like, oh my goodness, I love it. And then I decided against it because I felt like it looked too newly renovated. Everything was so very, very cohesive, and that is exactly what it was not going for, although this is what I would have loved. Even with those curtains, like this whole color scheme that is currently, ignore the bit that I'm looking through right now, but the other color scheme, this is exactly what I was looking for. But that is not exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly what I would have loved. This feel right here is more what I was going for. This whole, we've just added new sheets, and, it's still, I feel like it's still cohesive, but the feel was different. And wallpapering is always a problem for me because there's not many that I like other than the creamy colors. But here we are. This is what I picked. And you know what irritated me so much? And Yeah, no, I didn't cut anything out, but I think when I was doing the floor plan downstairs, I had already tried different wallpapers, and it bothered me so much that the floor and the wallpapers are such different tones. This is what I'm saying. I'm just too much of a perfectionist, and I just need to get over it. Yes, I'm not making you watch pulling all of the clutter out. I'll leave it in there for now, putting all of the clutter in and onto surfaces if you're good with that, if you enjoy doing that. I enjoy watching that, but it's not about what I want completely, but I still want to be happy as I'm doing this. But I'll do it regardless, whether it's in the video or not, I'll still put the clutter in there. Anyways, so I don't know if you can tell, this is the dad side of the bed. So he has some notes for his new books. He has files there with probably more ideas or print-offs of different books that he's working on. I think there's always a coffee in his hand, is what I'm thinking. And stacks of books and his phone, and he's recording ideas there as well, like audio files or whatever. And then the other side is the mom. She takes care that her fingernails are short. I actually worked in a hotel when I was really young, and I worked in the kitchen there. And there was a chef there, and he was always going on and on about how you need to keep your fingernails really, really short, because otherwise, even though you're wearing gloves, but I guess the fingernails could stab through the candy. I don't know. I thought it was a funny nod to her being a chef that she keeps her fingernails filed, and that's why I put that there. And then she got this vanity, and this whole room functions as well. I'm always surprised, honestly, when it works, because I'm putting stuff in there and then I'm like, yeah, they're never gonna be able to move in that corner. No, they're fine. Everything works great. I tested it out with the daughter. I'm not sure that I left see, for this one, I actually deleted the bottles off of the surface. So they might put dirty plates there for you. Not sure. But yeah, picking out a closet, not a closet, a dresser. If you're from Europe, built-in dressers or built-in closets are not a thing. You always have a closet, a big closet. It's a dresser, but it's a closet. And sometimes they're kind of like semi built in, like they're covering a whole wall or something. Like I've been in many, many apartments in Europe where a whole wall just has dressers on it, like floor to ceiling. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I got distracted as well because my phone was ringing. I hope you didn't hear that, but I did get distracted. Yeah, finishing up this, cluttering up the space. I did not add any pictures to those picture frames where you can add pictures because, I think you should just do that. And I'm not even sure if they transfer to the gallery. By the way, my gallery ID is Vinnas Nook, Vinnas Nook. I'd love for you to come and check it out. There's quite a few stuff on there already. But that's where you'll find future build and this one as well. I'll be uploading that later today. And yeah, so I was going into the hallway here, and there will always be those moments where I'm finding something and I'm like, oh, that would go good there. Like I didn't see that before, so now we're going to go downstairs and we're going to put it there. I hope that's not too annoying. If it is, I can cut it out. But I figured that way you'll see it, my thinking process as well. Yeah, and then desks. It's a desk. But there's nothing special about it, but I figured this is like the family desk. This is where, this is the only computer in the house. There is another computer over above the garage because of the dad being an author and that being his office mostly. But this is like the family computer. I figured, I'm old school. We had a family computer. And if somebody was on the phone, then you could not use the internet. But so yeah, this is family computer. It's a hallway, and I figured, I have the space there. Might as well put it in there. I did not like that big empty wall. I was gonna put a window there, and then I realized, well, it's in the roof. Like the roof is right off by that. Like I can't put a window there. There's roof. And then doing the bedroom real quick. But again, it's very similar to the downstairs. I figure this was one of the things that they had at some point updated altogether. Like everywhere there was tile, they just did the same tile. It's more cost efficient to just pick one kind of tile instead of 3 different kinds, one for the laundry and then for the individual bathrooms. But it did want to clutter it up just a little bit. There is a lot of Sims that live in this house, and I think that'd be important to have. But yes, you know what? Now watching this back, looking at the light switches that I just remembered to put the light switches in, and I think I'll cut that out. I feel like that makes me woozy watching that, and I cut it out. I did the same thing on the main floor. I'll cut that out from now on. But yeah, there's nothing special about the bathroom. So it's a bathroom. It has a toilet and a thing, and it's fully functional. And there is no, if you have caught on to that, there is no potty in the house. However, there is a potty now, and it is in that bathroom. And you might see it in the screenshots. I do not remember, but it's there, and it's fully functional. But we're moving on into the garage, the garden, the backyard, and the greenhouse. But I'm kind of jumping all over the place because now as I'm going through the catalog, I'm finding things. This over here was just like this corner of the garage, I think, where you're just storing Christmas decor and other stuff that you just need to store. And I always like putting that Christmas stuff in there because I feel like, this is such a big thing and you wouldn't put that in a bin. It's just probably always standing there. And I just wanted this garage to look more, not run down, but more garagey-y. It was very clean. And it is not a new house. Like I said, like they've been in this house for a while, and I think the house itself has been on that island for a long time. And this is the garage, so it's not as well insulated as the rest of the house. So I felt like it needed some grime and some garaginess and scratches and such. But yeah, I think this lunchbox. I think that lunchbox is usable, I believe. And my sim, when I was playtesting it, the dad kept going out there and trying to clean up the toys. How come that they always clean up the toys, but they don't clean up their plates? Like they just put them somewhere, or their mugs. If they're drinking a coffee, they'll just put the mugs somewhere, but they're walking around and trying to clean up the toys that I have put there for a purpose. The purpose being it's decorative. And that's why they're there. And then they're being promoted. That drives me nuts. But moving on. I also, there is that laundry room in there. But while I was building, I forgot to put a hamper in there, but there now is a hamper in the upper hallway. I always just put like a hamper unless I'm using it for like a decorational purpose. But there's one hamper, and unfortunately it bugged me. It's like half a foot into the room because apparently they could not use the hamper when it was against the wall, which is weird because I know I've done it before and it was working. So I don't know if it's interfering with another object that is behind that wall. But it's a bit into the room. But if you wanted to, you could honestly probably put the hamper somewhere in the laundry room if that should work. Does it work? I'm not sure. It's funny, I'm asking you a whole lot of questions, but I think if you put it on a different floor, then the clothes don't go in there. I think then they go on the floor. I'm not sure. Oh, here I had to cut out a bunch of stuff because I was determined to find that pile of dirt because I had that idea that I wanted to have I found those little clay shards over there from the I I think this was from the businesses and hobby. Yeah, obviously, because that's when the pottery came. But I thought, in the greenhouse, there should be like a little thing where a plant fell down and it cracked, and there's a little bit of dirt, or the dirt that was in there, the soil, it fell out. Yeah, cluttered up that real quick, and we're moving on into the dad's office slash studio. So up here, there's going to be it's like his creative studio. So there's going to be everything for painting, and then his desk. And I tried to make it, in the screenshots, you'll see that there's actually a painting on the wall. I left the blank spaces because I thought, oh, this is where he'd hang up those pictures. If, he paints stuff that is not for kids' books or whatever, he'll create some art, and the mom likes hanging that up. And I added that AC unit over there because I figured this at some point, this was just the attic of the garage, and maybe it was just the attic that they used for storage. And then the dad wanted to be working from home and be a freelancer, and he needed a space to work, and there was no room in the house, so they built out this, which is why I use those wooden walls, because I figured that wooden floor was maybe already there, and they just sanded it down and sealed it. And wooden wall because that's cozy and cheap, and it probably also was there. Maybe they just painted it white. And then they just added a AC unit for that one room because there was nothing in there, and it's obviously not connected to the main house. So yeah, I'm trying, if ever I can, whenever I can, I'm trying to make it realistic and but make it functional for The Sims. But yeah, added that little typewriter there, big books on the bookshelf. He's an author, he's really into books, he loves books, so there has to be a lot of books, and the book Nook kit came in super handy for that. But yeah, cluttering up the desk. I picked that desk because I feel like, I don't know, when I think about authors, and this is probably cliche and don't take it the wrong way, but when I think, do you know the movie, was it Love Actually? Yes, Love Actually. One of the main characters is an author, and his girlfriend or fiance breaks his heart and does stuff with his brother, and then he flees, and he goes to his little house that is somewhere, and I can't figure out, I think it's still in England, like the whole movie is in England, and I think that house is still in England. But anyways, I'm blabbering, but he is a very chaotic author. There's just stuff, and he doesn't use a computer. He actually uses a typewriter, and he's sitting by that lake, and there's wind and everything blows away, and he's just very chaotic, and there's like stuff and notes and thoughts on paper everywhere, and he can't find his phone. And anyways, but that's always what I think about when I think authors, and so I picked that desk, long story short. Well, I'm just finishing up the front porch now. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you come back for my next Sims 4 speed build video, and I'll see you next time in my Nook. Bye, guys.